These are all the places that we've searched today. You get that second of excitement and you go on a roller coaster ride of, oh, we found her, oh, it's not her, and you're back to square one.
The worry and the anxiety and everything, that can wait until later. Right now, it's just focus and hope.
I hope to God that she'll know that so many people care about her and want to see her safe.
Two sons desperately searching for their mother who went missing a week before Mother's Day. Just a really heart-wrenching story, and a story that I think is going to touch many people out there, many of us that are dealing with older members of our family that might be suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's. But I think there's a really important consideration, maybe something that could be very helpful to this case, and that's why we're doing this video this weekend. It's time to turn on the searchlight for Roberta Bobby Braden. Welcome back to Brainscratch Searchlight. I'm John Lorden. Thank you so much for caring about these cases like I do. And what is this thing that I think can happen this weekend? Well, essentially, Bobby Braden was last seen on a hiking trail near where her son lives. And there might be some people out there thinking, especially with how much time has passed, I don't know if we're trying to find a missing person or if this is a recovery effort. Either way, this weekend, the 4th of July weekend, is a huge recreational weekend here in the U.S. I'm hoping we can get the exposure raised, get some eyes and ears open for people that are going to be out on the trails where she was last seen. Maybe they will find the missing piece that's going to lead to the location of Bobby. So that's why I think it's important to do this case. Big thank you to a very caring brain scratcher that reached out and told me about this situation. Once I put together that this is going to be a weekend for people to be out there, and the fact that volunteer searches are basically kind of off with this case at this point. We'll get through that as we're going through all the news stories. I just thought we had to raise awareness this particular weekend, get her photo in front of people's eyes, and make sure they know about her, particularly in the Phoenix area. So let's go ahead and start with the NamUs profile for Roberta Louise Braden. And I'm thankful that there was a profile already created. It was created just a matter of days after she went missing. So my hat's off to either the family member or hopefully the law enforcement person that got this profile together. Date of last contact, May 1st, 2022, missing from Phoenix, Arizona at the age of 80. Bobby is her nickname, and she stands at 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighs around 145 pounds. Missing from Phoenix, Arizona. On the circumstances, it says on Sunday, the 1st of May, 2022, Roberta was last seen in the area of South 31st Way and East Caldwell Street on foot. We get a lot of kind of pinpoints of where she's spotted, so we'll try to put that all together on a map as we're going. Maybe it's going to give us some idea of the direction that she's heading in. She was possibly seen contacted on the Javelina Trail in the South Mountain Park in the early evening of the same day, possibly wearing a black and white dry fit shirt. We have a couple of different descriptions on the shirt, dark colored shorts and white golf shoes. The golf shoes, basically she had gone golfing with her son earlier that day. They get home for the evening. He winds up going to bed. He wakes up the next morning and she's not there. Just kind of a terrifying story that none of us want to experience. And unfortunately, we have this family dealing with that. Hair color, brown. Eye color, green. Other distinctive physical features, none noted. For clothing, once again, black, white, dry fit, short sleeve shirt, dark colored shorts, white golf shoes. We've got a couple photos. I've got a bunch of photos that are going to be rolling under me the whole time we're talking about this case here. One particular one of interest is this clothing photo. We're going to see a better one as we get to the articles, but the police are basically putting out that photo saying this is the type of top that she was wearing at the time that she went missing. Happening in Phoenix, Arizona. It's the capital and most populous city in the state of Arizona with over 1.6 million residents as of 2020. I didn't realize it was that huge. It's the 5th most populous city in the United States. It's the anchor of the Phoenix metropolitan area, also known as the Valley of the Sun. And there we come to a very important consideration. This is known to be a dry, hot area. We have an elderly person walking around, possibly on trails out there. This could be a very, very dangerous situation. There is a website that's been put together at findrobertabraden.com. Here they're noting just a little variation on the clothing, so I wanted to point that out. Possibly cheetah print or similar golf shirt. I know that there's this type now I think it's called heather typically, where it's not exactly a cheetah print. It's kind of just a mix of two colors, usually a lighter color and a darker color. I don't know if they're confusing the cheetah print with that type of heather, which I do think this shirt here does kind of match that. Let me just go ahead and bring up a bigger one here. Yeah, this is a little different, but so I'm not sure. We have two kind of different descriptions on it, and this is, the family's official page. I know there's a lot of volunteers that are helping with this also. Bobby suffers from Alzheimer's disease, but is also intelligent and approachable. She might not even realize she's lost. It's another really scary aspect of this is she's at her son's home. So if her memory kind of slips out, all of a sudden she's in a strange place, even if she kind of, tries to get some of her bearings, she's not in her typical location where she's known to live. So also her sons, I saw some interviews with them, and they describe it as her short-term memory will suddenly lapse to the point of either like the last 30 seconds, she'll just completely forget, or up to like the last 3 minutes will just completely drop out. So pretty scary to think about, especially if she winds up out on a hill somewhere, has some type of symptom like that, and it's like, what's going on? Where am I? If you see her, please make contact with her. She would respond to her name, Bobby. We do have a couple of other photos down here, a few of them with her and one of her sons. Over at abc15.com, let's get into some of the reported details. Phoenix police are looking for an 80-year-old woman who was last seen near South Mountain last weekend. Roberta Louise Braden reportedly went missing on Sunday, May 1st near 31st Way and East Caldwell Street on the northeast side of South Mountain. So let's just pull up a map real quick. Here is that particular intersection, and you can see it's basically the last of the streets before you get to this big section of nature and trails. Now, here, when you've got it colored in this way, you might think, oh, it's, it looks lush. There's going to be a bunch of trees and stuff out there. Not quite. It's actually dry, a lot more brush. So that's where we get concerned, especially we're talking about, temperatures that can hit into 100 and higher. But let's go ahead and continue with the information of the article. She was visiting her son in Phoenix when she went missing. Her son, Justin Powell, says she suffers from dementia, causing her to be easily confused or lost. He says that he thought she went to bed Sunday night, but he found that she wasn't in her room on Monday. Someone reported seeing her at the top of Javelina Trailhead or Javelina Trail right before it meets Ridgeline, and that was 6:45 Sunday night, Powell said. So just to get an idea of where that is, this is the Javelina Trail. The Javelina Trailhead is right over here, kind of close to another part of the neighborhood. Like we're getting back into streets and neighborhood down here. If she was seen at that first location over here, I mean, it could be that she took that trail and got all the way through it. What's interesting about that is, according to some other interviews I've seen with her children, she's not known to go hiking. Like it doesn't seem like it's a thing that she does regularly. So kind of curious why she would be drawn to this particular area. Also just wanted to show you some of these photos so you can get a sense of, I mean, it's dry, there's cactus, there might be some other potential risks in this area as well. So a lot of concern on this. Echoing that point I just made here at 12news.com is a quote from her son, Justin. "We were blown away because she doesn't go hiking. Somehow she got disoriented and ended up on South Mountain. Volunteers have been searching the trails and surrounding neighborhoods. Everything that I'm doing now is just to focus and to search as much as I can and to look at every neighborhood that I can and try to find her," said her son, Derek, who lives in Los Angeles. Over at azcentral.com, she has been seen wandering the Phoenix area, the family said in a release. The last time she was seen was Thursday at East McNeil Street. A couple of interesting things there. First of all, we're getting a street name. Thursday, we're talking days after she went missing. Now, unfortunately, sometimes we'll hear about sightings like this and then they look into them and they find out to not be accurate. For this particular one, I have not run into any information saying that this one didn't happen or wasn't accurate or was found to be a different person, which kind of frequently happens in some of these occurrences. So just to get a sense of it, that is over here, East McNeil Street, also around all these trailheads, but a bit further south of where one of those sightings were, the sighting that we're kind of leaning on the most on the Javelina Trail, where we're pretty sure it was her, 6:45 that day that she goes missing. But another cluster down here in this neighborhood of the Spanish Mountain Estates, possibly. Continuing with another article from azfamily.com, dozens of volunteers have been scouring parts of Ahwatukee and South Phoenix for Roberta Braden, who goes by Bobby. Multiple factors make this disappearance concerning, not only her health condition, but the heat is reaching dangerous temperatures. She was last seen on top of a mountain with no idea which way she came down, if at all. Family and friends have spent days coordinating search efforts for the 80-year-old. Bobby was at Justin's house near 32nd Street and Baseline Road, so we get another address there, but not one for a particular sighting. We know that she was there previously. Justin said they had nearly 100 volunteers helping search, canvassing Ahwatukee and South Phoenix streets and neighborhoods, hanging up flyers and making social media posts. Because South Mountain has so many trails, she could have come down any of them, so Justin is hopeful his mom has a moment of clarity to ask for help. Of course, this is an article still from within that first week, May 6th, 2022. But it's a good point. You can see so many of these trails just lead off right back off into the neighborhoods, but there's so many different entrance and exit points. I mean, it looks like at least a dozen coming in and out of this area. Certainly a lot to try to take on for a search effort. Continuing, another article from AZ Family. Search intensifies after new lead near Arizona Mills. That's actually a mall. A credible sighting came in near Arizona Mills in Tempe. There's a renewed sense of hope for brothers Derek and Justin Powell. I haven't felt good in days. This is the most solid lead we've had, said Justin. Derek got a call around 8 a.m. from a food delivery driver who believes he spoke with their mom Sunday night. They believe it was her because of an inside joke phrase that she used, a phrase she and her sons would often use together. Quote, she was at the McDonald's drive-thru and said, Justin stole my money and I need to eat. Derek recalled of the phone call with the driver, just the phrasings that she used that he reported to me were just exactly what she would do. Because of that, they've changed the search area to around Arizona Mills Mall. Phoenix police said even though tips are coming in, there is an imperative action to take if you think you do come across her. If you do see her, stick with her. Keep an eye on her until we can get authorities there, said Phoenix Police Sergeant Phil Krinsky. Outside of them thinking that it's a solid lead because of what was said, just looking at the location, we're still around this trailhead. We're still certainly within walking distance for her to be around this mall. So a possibility there. I hope we're going to see her soon. It just feels like she's so close right now. I can feel her presence here with us, said Justin. A $25,000 reward was offered. This update from May 11th. Missing for more than a week and a half now, the family of Roberta Bobby Braden has a $25,000 reward for anyone who finds her. Friends and family say more than 200 volunteers. And let me just stop and say, thank you so much for being there for this family. Every one of you volunteers is an amazing person. I really appreciate you guys. Friends and family say more than 200 volunteers have been searching the Phoenix area for Braden using drones, canine units, and other tactics. In a news release, Braden's son, Top Gear producer Derek Powell, called on authorities to communicate more. To be honest, we expected more help from local officials and haven't gotten it. It's clear individuals in law enforcement want to find her, but we can't get a real commitment. We're so thankful for the ones that have stepped up, he said in a statement. This article actually goes on to talk about it seems like they have a volunteer resource that wants to help them, but the volunteer resource won't do it without the permission of law enforcement. And that's a kind of common thing that I hear from families. Typically, it's usually search dogs where this happens. There's usually a company or a person that has a dog with that skill, wants to help with the search, but typically they'll say, look, we need law enforcement to be okay with us doing this. And sometimes it's hard. That's the sense I'm getting, at least from what's being laid out in this article. Sometimes it's hard to just get law enforcement to say, sure, go ahead. They've got all kinds of different concerns and keeping people safe. And, I get all that, but it certainly has to be frustrating when you're a family looking for help. Help is coming your way. And there's this condition of we can only do it if law enforcement says it's okay. And law enforcement isn't doing that for some reason. So just one of the many frustrations these families face in these cases. Over at patch.com, they note that a GoFundMe page has been created. The sons of Bobby Braden are asking for donations to help pay for search tools like drones and scent tracking dogs. Donations will help fund search resources like drones, billboard rentals, a dedicated field coordinator, color flyers, and scent tracking dogs. I saw a little footage of one of the search efforts. They had this room. I mean, I was completely impressed. I think there was probably 10, 12 people in there, all of them on laptops, all working away, just huddled around together. Pretty impressive. The community response has been amazing, but Phoenix is huge, and we need so many more resources to help find her across such a large area, Derek and Justin wrote on the GoFundMe page. The Sons also said that when Bobby Braden is found, the remaining funds will be donated fully to the Alzheimer's Association. Like I said at the start of this episode, a story that certainly touches many, many families here in the nation and around the world. And I'm really thankful that they're thinking about that. Like, if we do find her, we've got this money, let's go ahead and help others by donating it. The Phoenix Police Department issued an update to its missing persons report. According to the department, she had on a black and white shirt. They posted a photo of someone in that clothing. It's the photo that we kind of touched on earlier. I wish they'd use a better quality version of it, but you get a sense of what it's like. I mean, it's essentially gray and black, just kind of interfused all over the shirt. I believe it's in a heathered pattern. Over at the Facebook page for Find Roberta Louise Braden, there's a post on June 3rd. Phoenix friends and neighbors, all of us leading the search for Roberta Braden want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. As horrible as this event has been for the family, the one bright spot of this tragedy has been seeing over 300 of you step up to help find her. You've scoured the desert. You've searched by drone and horseback. You've canvassed neighborhoods to ask neighbors to search their property. You've called over 200 hospitals, shelters, police departments, heat relief centers, and mental health care facilities trying to find her. No one could ask for more than what you've given us, and we'll be forever thankful for your heroic effort. Unfortunately, after a month and a day, we have not been able to find her. This message then goes into the fact that basically the volunteer efforts, the volunteer boots on ground efforts are being brought to a halt, and they're kind of just trying to trust that law enforcement is going to help resolve this case. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, I know people are going to be out this weekend, huge recreation weekend. Please, if you have any friends in the Phoenix area, share this video with them. I know I've got one I'm thinking of. Please share this video with them. Please raise exposure to this case. We just need people to be aware of those pictures right below me and the information, the clothing maybe. And that's it. And then just hopefully someone out on those trails will come across the information that will help get to the next step in this investigation. Her son Derek said, "I'm not going to give up hope. I'll keep looking until I find her, no matter how long it takes." Over 5.8 million Americans suffer from Alzheimer's and dementia. 1 in 6 will go missing. You've helped us, and now it's time to help them. And along the way, you've given us all an astonishing gift. Something we've heard from local officials repeatedly is this was the largest search effort they've ever seen. In a time where we are so divided, it's been amazing to see us all come together, and for someone many of you didn't know. Sincerely, Justin, Derek, and the Find Bobby Braden team. Sure sounds like a bunch of people that I want to help and be a part of as well. And that's why we're here doing this today. And I hope you guys will just take up that extra challenge. Just give it a little thought. Do I know anyone in that area? send this video, send the poster, whatever. Just get the information to them, especially if you think that they're going to be hanging out in Phoenix this weekend. Family of missing Phoenix grandmother not giving up hope. This article from June 22nd. It blows my mind that no one would have reported her. No one would have said, hey, I saw this person that's been missing, said her son Justin. That confusion is what eats me up late at night when I try to process where she could possibly be. That's another thing that's kind of frustrating about this too. We talked about the population. This is a heavily populated area. How is no one coming across this woman to help her? It is mind-blowing. 7 weeks later, not much has changed, with no explanation about where Braden went or what happened to her. The hope is still there, said Powell. It's not to the point where I'm driving around every night looking for her on the streets, but there's still that glimmer of hope. Sergeant Philip Krinsky with the Phoenix Police Department said this case is still an active investigation. We have to keep every option open, they said. We don't want to stick to one particular narrative. We have to look at things that might bring some new information. There was a report that Braden was spotted at a McDonald's off Priest Drive and Baseline Road in Tempe a week after her disappearance, but it turned out to be someone else. I don't know if that's the same sighting as the mall. I do believe that McDonald's is in this area, the streets that they're talking about. Here's Baseline. I do think the McDonald's is around here, but I'm not 100% sure that that's the same sighting. Powell said his mother was an avid swimmer and was in pretty good shape, so despite her dementia, it's possible she could survive the extreme heat. He's also not ruling out the possibility that his mom got on a bus somewhere, or maybe is living with homeless people, unaware of her surroundings. It is strange someone of her capacity disappearing and not being able to find her, said Powell. It's just baffling. I can't understand where she is, where her compass has taken her. And that's what's interesting about all these sightings. And once again, we don't know if they're all accurate. East Baseline Road and South 32nd Street, this is where he lives. So we know that's certainly a starting point for where she was. We have one sighting mentioned of her being here. Not a lot of detail around that, but is it possible that she was there? Certainly, especially if we believe the sighting from Javelina Trail. She would have almost certainly had to have passed this area to get to that. This sighting on East McNeil, not 100% sure. And of course, what happens around the mall, really not certain around that as well. The big area that we're staring at here is this section of hiking trails. And that's really why I wanted to draw attention to this and hopefully get this in front of the eyes of some people that might be out there. If you want to keep tabs on this case, please visit the Facebook page and be sure to follow it /find Roberta Braden. Of course, there is the website that we've also mentioned, findrobertabraden.com. There is a Web Sleuths thread discussing this case as well. And you guys know me. I went looking up the GoFundMe. Is it something to donate to? I don't even know if it's still open at this point. They were going for a $50,000 goal. They hit 55. So I think a better way to honor the situation at this point is to make a donation directly to the Alzheimer's Association, but doing it in Bobby's name. So that's what I'm going to do just as soon as we're done filming here today. And of course, I'm doing that on behalf of myself and all of my amazing supporters on Patreon, PayPal, and Coffee. Thank you guys so much for the donations that you do over there. This is one of those good little things that we can do together, making a donation to the Alzheimer's Association. And thank you, new patron Kate Quintanilla. Really appreciate you for joining on Patreon. If you guys want to support the channel, visit lordandarts.com, where you can sign up for Patreon, PayPal, buy merchandise, or buy us a coffee like Lane S recently did. We really appreciate it. It helps keep us going, and it helps us do things like the donation we're doing here today. So that's it, Brain Scratchers. I know a lot of you out there are probably feeling similar to me, worried that this is a recovery effort. Whatever it is, the answers are out there somewhere. We need help to find them, to bring them back to this family. So please just take a moment, think about it. Do I know anyone in this area that I can share this video with? I would really, really appreciate that. Take care. Have a safe 4th of July weekend. We have no episode of Case Cracked coming on Monday, but a new Seriously Mysterious will be here on Tuesday. Also releasing today as well is a brand new episode of Crime After Crime, so I hope you'll check that out. Take care. We'll see you again here on the Lord and Arts channel.